Good evening, everyone. My name is Pavita Keva. Today, I'm going to bring up my explanations and arguments about the motions this House would criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle as the affirmative themes. This House would apply and criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. By the statement as the affirmative themes, I could divine that we should applying regulations or determinations of the penalty whoever individuals or organizations who do not do the recycle on their own rubbish. Recycle here means the process of collecting and processing materials that would otherwise be thrown away as trash and turning them into a new product that usable. And we believe that recycle benefit either us or the environment itself. In this house status quo, especially in Indonesia, we haven't fully must apply the recycle in any places and any space of rubbish material itself. Recycle haven't been our habit in Indonesia, mostly cause of the lack of socializations about it, and governments are not strict enough to respond and pay attention to these issues. The problems that could appear if we did not applying the criminalized individuals organizations who do not recycle are the tons of trash that always be the number one problems in this house, that also always be the reasons of many nature disasters that actually are a human disaster, such as flood, soil and water pollutions. Also, the not healthy environment cause the viruses and the smells of the methane or the pile of trash. From all of the problems, I could give the goals such as preventing the tons of trash that always be the number one problem in this house, also preventing the not healthy environment cause the viruses and the smells of a methane or the pile of trash. Also, by applying the recycle and growth the habit to recycle among the society. Those goals become a realism if we do the mechanism such as by restricted the regulations about trash, and just by like these motions peeled, we would criminalize individuals organizations who do the recycle. First step is to finding a way for making recycle itself an easy and various way to do and produce it to be a functional items. I'm going to bring up three arguments today. The first arguments are restricted the trash regulations. As I have said in the status quo, that Indonesia haven't fully applied recycle in any individuals or organizations cause the not strict government and the not care citizens. This would be an issue. This house would criminalize individuals or organizations who do not recycle. By that, I could present you my first arguments as the affirmative themes. That restricted trash regulation is one of the before criminalized individuals or organizations about recycles. Why? Because in Indonesia, trash regulations are still not a controversial regulations. In fact, trash are the number one problems in this house. Are we forever gonna be blinding ourselves from those facts or take a step to handling and solving these issues as a teams? I believe by restricted our trash regulations, it will be easier to criminalize the perpetrator of the recycles. Also, the not applying trash regulations whom have been here is the reasons why recycle did not done in this house. According to the KIC survey, as many as 50.8% of the respondents in 5 big cities in Indonesia do not sort their waste, and 79% said that they don't want to bother themselves to process their own household waste cause of the not care and the not scared of the reasons is because the not strict government about trash regulations. From these arguments, I could conclude that restricted trash regulation is one of the way before we criminalize individuals or organizations who do not recycle. Let's hop on to the next arguments, such as the severe environment damage. As we all know, as like I have said, mentioned multiple times in my previous explanations, that Indonesia environment are mostly damaged because the trash issues. Indonesia has the gorgeous, incredible and various nature that since the history is our country exercent. But now it seems we are against our own mother nature. This house would criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. By the statement in the second arguments, it could be a way for us to protect, save, and come back closer and end our nature fight with our beloved Mother Nature. As humans are the main reasons of every surveys in environmental damage in this house. Natural disasters such as flood, cause of the drain blockage due to the garbage, soil and water pollute, also be the environment distracting such as the smells and the dirtiness that could bother anyone around the garbage dump. Why I bring up these arguments? Because the house problems such as trash who actually have a solution such as recycle and cause the laziness and the not caring citizens about this problem solving make the situations even worse. That is the reasons why we should criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. Reporting from the World Bank Group, Indonesia produces 175,000 tons of waste every day, and 20% of it ends up in the rivers and beaches, and surely will make the water pollute. Another evidence are in this house status quo, especially in big city. Flood is become a normal disaster for them. The worst history flood in Jakarta, which is 1918, is caused by the not handling trash, has repeated in these days. The range of October until December 2022, the trash that transported from rivers in Jakarta reached the high of Monas, which could be the tragic flood if it wasn't in raining seasons. From these arguments, I could conclude that the very severe environment damage is the cause and the reasons why we should applying the criminalize for individuals or organizations if they don't recycle their own garbage. Hop on to the next or the last arguments. Are the recycle always be an answer? As like I have said in the previous arguments about environment damage, and we have solutions about it. This house would criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. By that statement, in these arguments, it could explain why criminalize about these issues is a good thing. And this also will rebut the opposition teams if they say that recycle is a hard thing to do among the society. Because cycle is the answer of any trash problems, and the main issues is the lack of socializations about that. Making recycle is hard stigma among society. The fact is there are the biggest recycle industry in Indonesia that built by the Ministry of Industry in Indonesia. There are no other reasons to not recycling our own garbage. From these arguments, I could conclude that recycle always be an answer, and recycle is not a hard thing to do. In fact, there are the biggest recycle industry in Indonesia. What are other reasons if we did not recycling our own country trash? This house would criminalize individuals and organizations who do not recycle. I could conclude from all of my arguments and explanations that we could make our own country destiny to be a magical pride and eco-friendly heaven on earth just to decreasing trash by applying criminalize of protector recycles. That's all I could say as the affirmative teams. Thank you very much.